Okay. Yeah, I just gotta keep my... Oh! Thank you for the follow, Magic Kitty! Oh, I was surprised he wasn't following me already. Thank you for the follow, though. Greatly appreciate it. Okay. Well, I guess... Well, since I'm already talking, I might as well get started. Yeah, there'll be more coming. We're fine. Okay. Where the fuck is it? Scene. Here we go. Okay, so... Yeah, I said I was gonna do this, but then I just did not do it. So now I'm gonna do it, and I'm probably gonna upload this from YouTube since it has me with the slime circuit thing and people getting more interested. I think it's gonna be a lot more talk, and I just want to throw my hat in the ring again. I know I've already stated my opinions, but I never really gave a concrete tier list, nor have I really ever said I've given unordered ones, but I've never sat down, thought about it, and done that shit. I mean, I have, but not this year. And I think it's been long enough. We just did Frosty Flaunting, and we're kind of getting back in the swing of things with all these brackets coming up, Combo Raker, and some event in Ohio. I'm pretty sure that's happening. And just Slime Circuit in general. So I think now's a good time to just say, hey, this is my opinions on the characters. I should probably get some things out of the way first. First things first, a little bit of a self-promo. I am trying to get a new PC so I can actually stream more. I do plan on streaming Jackbox a little bit, but that's all my computer can really handle. So you don't have to if you don't want to. I'll live without it, but if you want to, feel free to subscribe. You do get 3 funny emotes, and I still need to add more. But you get 3 emotes that I think are very, very goofy and silly. And you also help me maybe make streaming a lot more viable as an option for me, which would be greatly appreciated. But it's up to you. Don't feel pressured into doing so. I can always just work for it. Second off, now to the real tier list. I think it's a good time to talk about the meta, since a lot of people, I think the meta is kind of all over the place. No one really knows what the best overall game plan strategy is, but I'm gonna keep it real. Block is very good. Blocking is your best defensive option in the entire game, and it's universal. So how good you are against block is so good. That is crucial. And what you get off block is also very good. So I'm looking for stuff like really fast out of block options, really safe moves on block, really good grabs, and really just good reward in general off said punish. And of course, really good positioning. I think positioning is very important in this game, especially with how platforms work. And overall, just how good you are at it, dodging those things. Wow, Flint City, so true, Scooter. How's it going? So yeah, I guess with that being said, that's basically the meta. The meta is basically block, and how good your character is against block will honestly determine how good you are in the meta, I feel like. Obviously, of course, things like punish game, very important. Disadvantage, I think it's extremely important. I think having a good disadvantage is so good in this game, especially since a lot of the top tiers can kind of just blow you up a lot of the time. So being able to escape out of those situations is so crucial. So, yeah, that's my personal take on the meta. And to nobody's surprise, there's only one character in D tier. And I've been saying this since day one this patch dropped. And I'm really happy it's starting to become more and more commonly agreed upon as an opinion. This character just sucks ass. This character fucking sucks. Leo, I think is obviously the worst character in the game by like a long shot. He might be in C tier maybe. I might move him up in the C tier. I don't know if I want to have 5 tiers. I'm thinking there might be only 4, but all I know, yeah, mighty have fallen indeed. All I know is that Leo is by himself. The issue with Leo is that like his neutral is not bad, but it's also not like incredible. He has really good range on his normals, but like once you get in his face, he does not really have a fast get off me option. He does have a frame 1 invincible escape option, but then he just loses neutral to that, and he just kind of gives up stage advantage, and you kind of need that as Leo. Leo kind of lives or dies by whether or not he has stage or not, especially if he does it off stage, and he has one of the worst off stage games out of the entire cast. This character just cannot get anything done if he gets a hit. He has the worst advantage in the entire game, just straight up. He cannot kill. He does not deal much damage. It's sad. His edge guard game is not awful, but like there are other characters that do it a lot better. And for characters with trickier recoveries like Sandy, Toph, Shredder, wherever the fuck he is, Korra, like those characters can be really fucking annoying. Big deal when I find a way to spike him when the game first came out. Yeah, because you need to exploit that recovery. Yeah, but nowadays it's very easy to exploit, and like everyone's just gotten so good at it to the point where if this character ever has to recover low, he's just dead. But yeah, that's basically Leo in a nutshell. In fact, I'ma just... This is LMAO tier. This character is bad. Do not play Leo unless you're fucking sick at the game. There's not really much else for me to say about Leo. He just can't get anything done. He really just can't. It doesn't matter how many times he wins neutral if everyone else in the game can just win neutral once and kill him, because his disadvantage is so bad and he can't like kill. Yeah. Anyways, that's the only bad character I'll say in this game. Everyone else is more than viable. And like you can... Don't mind trading with Leo uppy. You just tap... Yeah, exactly. You just kind of touch him and he dies. There's not really much to it. But yeah, Leo just kind of blows. Not really much for me to say. Which makes me sad, because I love Leo. I think Leo's sick in this patch and nobody knows about it, but... A lot of people call Leo boring. I think they're stupid. I think Leo's hype is shit, but it's whatever. Anyways, now we're going to move on to, I guess, my next tier, which would be... Flawed. I might change this tier name, but I'm going to say Flawed. These are characters that have issues, but are still good. Like, still relatively good. They have some... really good. Tangible, thank you for the follow. How's it going, bro? But yeah, these are characters that I think, like, can definitely make it work. These characters have... Oh, and Scooter, thank you for the follow as well. Thank you for the follow, guys. Feel free to consider dropping a sub, which helps me get a PC, but don't feel pressured into doing so. You're totally fine. I'm gonna be advertising that a lot because I do really need to get a new PC. But yeah, these are characters... The Flawed tier is going to be characters that I think are, like, around mid-tier. These are characters that have, like, really big, glaring issues that are way too easy to exploit, but can still relatively do things in the meta. They do have some of them have, like, strong matchups against some of the higher-tier characters. And they can definitely do shit. They can... If you're not careful, they can definitely do shit, especially if you don't know the matchup that well. And the first character I actually have... a lot of people will put Patrick here. I think Grimpy is worse. And I'm going to put Patrick up next, because I think Patrick goes next. Rimpy is in a very similar case to Leo, where, like... He kind of just got fucked over by hitstone scaling, similar to Leo. None of his shit really links into what it did before, and his combo options are a lot more limited because of it. Like, now, he doesn't really have too many choices in what side he chooses to attack with, outside of, like, light up air and up tilt. And that's mostly because of the fact that he just cannot Like, it just does, like, less damage, but sends in the same exact direction, which is really unfortunate. So he's a lot more limited in neutral because he can't really do that mix-up. But on top of that, too, like, his advantage game is okay. He does have strong up air, which is a really good combo ender, and up light and light up air, which are both really good combo extenders and combo starters. But like, light dare is not as good anymore because of hit stun scaling. It's a lot harder to kill with that move. It's good against some characters like Toph, who like to recover high, Toph and April, but like, that's not really much of a payoff, especially when both of those characters have mix-ups in their high recoveries that can be really annoying to deal with. They have one of the worst disadvantages in the entire game. The fact that you can grab down B now really sucks. Like, because you can just run up. Like, I've been able to like play against Blazing Pasta. I've been able to run up, jab, grab, and it's just free because I don't care if he gets the charge. You can grab fart. No, but you can grab like the you can kind of grab like the counter portion of it. That makes sense. And even then, fart's kind of underwhelming too. But yeah, the charge, you can do that. I've been able to run up, jab, he gets charged, but it doesn't matter because I grab him and then I throw him off stage and then I just edge guard him. I've been able to do that to Blazing Pasta many times, especially in our friendlies. Like, it is very, very disgusting. Another thing too is that, of course, his recovery is really bad. He does have some mix-up with it, and I don't think it's the worst recovery in the game. So far, it's such an awkward hitbox. It's not even the hitbox that's bad. I think the hitbox on it's really good. Is that, like, it just doesn't do enough percent, and it doesn't do enough, like, kill. It doesn't have a great knockback. Especially compared to, like, what a ton of the other characters can do. Like, a lot of the fucked up characters. So, yeah, I think Rimpy is really... Rimpy can be scary in the right hands, especially if you don't win the matchup, but, like, there's a reason why Blazing Pasta does not like to play Rimpy as much nowadays. Because this character has fallen off a lot. Patrick. Patrick hasn't really gone up, in my personal opinion. I just think Rimpy has gotten worse in my eyes. But Patrick does have some shit. Snare is really good. Snare is just he probably has the best snare in the game, honestly. Super safe, lingers for 2 years, can kill, can edge guard, decent option in neutral. The issue is, that's honestly all he has. He has downlight, but that's really about it. He doesn't get too much off block compared to the rest of the cast. He's heavily outclassed in that department. And like, snare is good, but you kind of need something to go with it. Like, Cat Dog, for example, like old Cat Dog snare, Cat Dog at least had like frame 4 moves. They can like just safely pressure a block after using snare. Patrick never really had that. They had grabs, but not anymore. So like, it can kind of be a struggle in that department. With that being said, they do have a decent advantage state, but it's not as good as everyone else's. Their neutral is very linear. Snare is fairly easy to dodge, which is unfortunate since like that's his neutral. Hello, Horse and Woe. How's it going? But yeah, that's the kind of the issue with Patrick. The Patrick just can't, like, their neutral is way too linear. That's like the big issue. I know a lot of people say Patrick's neutral is good, but like, it's not bad. It's just very, very linear and heavily outclassed. Patrick can at least do stuff, yeah. Snare is at least like a really good move that you do have to respect. Like, snare, you have to respect snare. You can't, like, it's a really hard move to challenge. Like, that's why I think Patrick is above these two, because Patrick can at least, like, do stuff. Like, Patrick can at least kill, really. And, like, Patrick at least does have some gimmicks. Like, for example, like, against, like, in the Reptar matchup, for example, you can, like, grab him if sometimes, yeah. Yeah, exactly, Scooter. Exactly. But, yeah, so that's my take on Patrick. The next character I have, and this is probably my first hot take. I know a lot of people think Shredder is way higher. I really don't think so. Shredder is weird, because, like, on paper, this character is god-awful. Good timing on the music. What part of the song was it at? Oh my god. Oh, I have to check that. I have to rewatch that. Oh well. But yeah, Shredder, like, is weird. Because I feel like Shredder online is pretty solid. You could definitely make him work, but offline, though, he should not work. This character's biggest... Shredder sucks, but he definitely still has some stuff. Yeah, that's why he's in Flawed. For one, Shredder is the worst character against block. And that's a big deal. Like, he arguably might have the worst neutral in the entire game. Because, like, what does he do against block? You know, like, if your opponent just runs away and holds block, what can he do? His grab range is by far the worst in the game. Nothing he does is safe on block outside of, like, snare, but then you just parry it because it's so slow. Like, nothing he has is safe, and if you know the timing on light nair, you're basically fine. With that being said, though, despite how bad he is at playing the meta, he does have some tools that, like, I think allow him to at least give him other chances. For one, his punish game, people say it's inconsistent. I disagree. You really just need one grab and one strong up air that's juiced up on that lean shit to, like, that's juiced up on Purple Fanta in order to, like, just deal a ridiculous amount of damage. And he also can just keep you in the air for a while. Light Nair is very annoying for some characters to deal with. No Purple Flurp is good. Purple Flurp? Okay, I'll say that. Purple Flurp, that's a great way. I don't think we as a community has even given it a name yet. But yeah. Also, you kind of have to play Shredder in one way, which can be annoying. You kind of just have to run away from him, but then he also gets rewarded if you run away from him with down B. But he still kind of has to find that hit. He definitely has some shit. He can definitely kill you pretty early. His disadvantage is also really good. He's really tricky to edgeguard, thanks to neutral B and up B being really, like, difficult to hit. But yeah, I'd definitely say, like, just the fact that he just cannot play meta well really sucks for him. Like, that really sucks. He is good. He is decent online though, but offline, not that great. And yeah, the next two characters I'm gonna put up here are they're both kind of bad. They're both kind of mid for the same reason. Just the one is slightly better than the other since you have a lot more, like, room to work with and you have a lot more options, I feel. And that is Zim and Lucy. So Zim and Lucy are very similar in why I don't think they're great and why I think they're kind of mid. For Zim and Lucy, they're just very light. And being light in this game, I think it's agreed upon now to be worse than being heavy. Like, a lot. Small and light. Well, being small is pretty decent, but being light is really bad. It just means, like, especially with how good these characters are at just killing, especially this patch with, like, just more, like, true combos. Like, you got characters like Cat Dog, you got characters like Nigel, you got characters like Helga, Sandy. Like, those characters are really gonna fuck those characters up. Like, the fact that there's more, like, truer kill confirms across the board means that these characters are just gonna get fucked up more. Like, the meta is definitely not in their favor. Like, the top tiers, I think, just really just hard to validate them, honestly. Zim has a decent neutral and a decent advantage state, but they have a really bad disadvantage. Their recovery is just not good. So, like, you just get them off the stage, and then you just grab ledge. Rinse, repeat that, you win. Lucy is honestly in the same way, except for recovery is a little bit worse. It's a little bit better because you can at least block it with bats, or you can make yourself invisible. But yeah, she also, like, her neutral just is not as good as Zim's, though. Honestly, you can, like, swap these two around depending on how you're feeling. They're both honestly about the same placement because I think they're both down here for the same reason. But But I do think Lucy's a little bit better because Lucy just has a little bit more going on for her. I think Lucy's advantage state is better than Zim's, and I don't think her disadvantage is as bad as Zim's. So I think Lucy is slightly better than Zim. But honestly, if you think Zim's neutral is just that good, then yeah. Lucy can sometimes go crazy, yeah, but like, so can you, and you're able to go crazy. Like, so can like a bunch of the top tiers and high tiers. And those characters are more consistently able to go crazy, if that makes sense. Like, Lucy is very inconsistent. The best way I could put it is that Lucy is a high-risk, high-reward character in a game with low-risk, high-reward. And that sucks. So, yeah. The next character I got is PTM. This character used to be bottom 3 in my eyes, but the more I think about it and the more I talk about it with other people, heard about just not getting bitten. Yeah, not getting. Even then, like, she still has to find the kill, and she's putting herself at more risk because she's making herself even lighter, which that sucks a lot. But I guess like maybe in the Jenny matchup, that's not. Yeah, that's not as bad. Getting bitten kind of does suck. Anyways, PTM. Powdered Toast Man is... I used to think they were bottom 3, but the more I look at it, the more I realize this is one of the best characters on stage in the entire game. This character just has such a good, like, just has good buttons. Their neutral is super solid. Snare and Esther are still incredibly cracked. Like, just as cracked neutral tools. Croutons is still such an amazing, like, damage dealer. The fact that he's heavy, hurtbox shifts, and has shine, which means he can just kind of pop out of combos and just shine out of you and then just reversal you like that is crazy. They also have light there, which is massive, which is really good at getting out of juggle states. Like, this character has everything on stage, honestly. Like, if this character... The only thing that really holds his characters back is, like, their offstage game is god-awful. Definitely the worst offstage game, period, out of, like, the entire cast. Dead games, true, Pulgex, true. You're absolutely spitting on that one. Like, Pulgex, thank you for the follow. See it. Gets pinched and dies, true. Like, PTM is incredibly good, but it's the same issue as Zim and Lucy, where it's like, the moment you're off, like, where it's like, you lose neutral once and you just lose. Like, it's high risk, high reward, once again. Because this character does have the worst recovery in the entire game. This character's recovery is very easy to deal with. You just kind of rinse, repeat them, similar to, like, Zim or Jenny. It's not great. But yeah, having the worst offstage game is really bad in a game where a lot of characters can just go off stage for free. So, yeah, but he's not bad. He definitely has really good tools on stage, which is why I think he's better than these characters, because I feel like if you're good enough, I can definitely see you, like, destroying. And I also don't think he has terrible matchups against the top tiers. Like, I know, like, he does surprisingly well against characters like Nigel, for example, and Aang. But I can't see him, like, going any much higher. Next up, and guess what, guys? Hugh is decent. Hugh is not bottom 5. Shut the fuck up if you think that. Hugh is a very underrated character still. I know a lot of people joke about that. I know a lot of people say, oh, he has potential and all that shit. But, like, he has sauce. Hugh has some disgusting as fuck moves that I don't think people, like, realize. Like, back air is just straight up the best aerial in the entire game. He just has Shredder Lightnair, like old Shredder Lightnair. And it's funny. Does he get as much out of it as Shredder? Maybe. The coldest true. It is the coldest confirmed of all time. Maybe because he has a better grab and like better frame data than Shredder, at least when it comes to his lights. But me when Nigel Worm, true. But with that being said, like, this character still has incredible punish game, some of the best reversals off stage. Light down air, I think, is a really underrated move. That move is, I feel like, just not being used enough. That move, you can just, like, get back on stage for free unless your opponent has like a disjointed hitbox above them. Like, this character has the tools, I think, to succeed on stage and off stage. Like, the recovery isn't god awful. They have some stuff off stage, like good mix-ups and stuff. Their double jump is amazing. Yeah, if you have a bad recovery, you can just die to dare. Yep. Even if you have a good recovery, characters like Nigel, Helga, and Cora can even get like affected by it. The issue with Hugh, though, is that they're just really slow. Like, the fact that he has to rely on like wavelands in order to move around really sucks, because it really like limits where he can move around and stuff. Is huge. True. Like, if like this character is god awful on a stage like Royal Woods, because like the fuck is he gonna do? He can't like jump at you very consistently because he doesn't really have a great air mobility. He kind of needs those platforms if he wants to like move around a lot. And even then, like, he just does not have fast air mobility to like chase you down or to like get out of certain combos, and his double jump does not allow him to escape those combos as well. He's also just really difficult. I know a lot of people are gonna be like, he's hard, and I get that's kind of true, but at the same time, though, I think like we just have not seen this character offline. What do you mean? Wave dash is very committal, because he can just wave dash in and then he gets hit. It's like way worse than jump. Tuttle said it was easy. Tuttle's an idiot. Don't listen to Tuttle. Tuttle also said Patrick was hard, okay? So don't listen to Tuttle. So yeah, I think like the thing, like, I think Hugh, like, put this character offline, I think he's gonna be a lot scarier. I beat Glassman with my Hugh the other day. I beat Glassman 3 by camping the shit out of him. He didn't know what to do about it, and it was really funny. But yeah, I think just this character just can't. The big issue with this character is that they're slow and they can't really escape from shot. Like, they can't chase you down and they can't escape. That's like the big issue with them. You also made me so happy. You remember Frosty? Yeah, I know. The crowd was going nuts at that shit. When I told Hyper specifically, because Pug came actually back for this. Pug DM'd me saying, "Hey, for the next button check, show off Peter Griffin Powder Toastman." I was like, "Oh hell yeah, I'm doing that." And then like I also saw the crowd was like yelling for Hugh. So then in winners finals, I was like, "Hey, Hyper, for let's do a button check. Go Hugh, and I'll go Powder Toastman, Peter Griffin." And like the crowd was very happy. But then they were disappointed when they found out it was gonna be a Toph Garfield match. But yeah, Hugh, I really want Beanery to go to Combo Breaker. EU meta and winners finals, dead ass. 2 hours later, yeah, my fault, y'all. Maybe if C10 won, we would not have been in that situation. Just blame C10. Anyways, jokes aside, my fault. No, I popped off of a manatee. I gave you guys one of the best, most hype matches the entire bracket, okay? Shut the fuck up. I did my part. I should have went to Frosty's to play Hugh, deadass. Anyways, the final character I have in Flawed tier, is Reptar. I think a lot of people are saying Reptar's really good, and well, agreed with it. That was a joke. I said it wasn't my fault. Now I'm being gaslit. Whatever. Back to Reptar. A lot of people say Reptar is really good. Yeah, deadass. Deadass. Anyways, I forgot what I was gonna fucking say. Reptar. A lot of people are saying Reptar is like a high tier pick, and I can see it, but he does have some like deceptively good matchups. X, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, we're just kind of chilling around doing an Aspie tier list. Reptar's in a very interesting spot. I feel like Reptar is just really good online. I'm gonna keep it a stack. I don't think he's as good offline. For one, teching is so much easier offline. So, like, just being able to tech more consistently. You think Reptar is better offline? I disagree. I think Reptar kind of, you can RTC better. Yeah, but you also, like, Reptar lives off of you missing your techs. If you're able to tech more consistently, Reptar doesn't get as much off of it. Like, if you miss a tech against Reptar, you die. Like, it's way better. That's what I learned, at least, when I played against Manatee with my Leo. But, so, there's that. But he does have some, like, really good stuff. His neutral is downright fantastic. He has one of the better, like, keep away games, period. Light and air is amazing. Snare's really good. Neutral B is a really good just move in general for catching landings and stuff. And he can just kind of make you explode. There are some characters that can, like, he can give some, like, top tier some really big trouble. The issue with him, though, I see, and this is why I also don't think he's great offline, he does not do well at scrapping. He is probably the worst character when it comes to scrapping, and you're gonna see me put this out there. I think scrapping is very important in this game, especially with how good block is. You want to be able to, like, kind of get that pressure off of you. And being bad at that kind of sucks. But, like, he can do everything else really well outside of disadvantage. His disadvantage is not great. He does have armor, but it's not, like, that crazy of a deal. As long as you're just not stupid and don't just jump into it, you should be fine. Like, yeah. But that's overall, like, the Flawed tier. Next up, we're going to have the solid... Do we have another Gatekeeper tier? We can have another Gatekeeper tier. Gatekeeper. And then we have Gods. We can do that. I like that. Solid is probably going to be the biggest tier of everything. I think there's a lot of characters that go into Solid. These are characters that I don't think are as good as the top tiers, but I also don't think are bad. These are characters that I think are really good at exploiting the one thing that they're really good at, but they also have a bunch of other tools to help them out. And they also have some decent matches against some top tiers. So, first character. Probably the most overrated character in the game, in my personal opinion. I do not see the hype behind Rocco, like, at all. I am sorry. A lot of people say, like, Rocco is broken, or, like, at least, like, top 10. I don't see it. I feel like Rocco just kind of... For one, Rocco sucks ass against the top tiers. Like, there are 8 characters I'm going to be putting in Gods, maybe 7 if I do a real Gatekeeper, which I probably won't now that I think about it. Top 10, yeah, I don't think Rocco... Like, I've been seeing that take fly around, but I really don't think Rocco is top 10. The issue with Rocco is that, like, his throws suck. They're bad. There's not really much for me to say. Yeah, he can kill at 100 with a down throw. I can kill at 60 with an F throw. You know? Like, it's not enough to convince me. Especially if he just hold block center stage. His neutral is good. But, like, the fuck does he get off... The fuck does he win off block, you know? And with block being so important, that really sucks. If his grab was good, he would be, like, the best character in the game. But he doesn't. But he, like, doesn't. So, like, it kind of falls apart. One big reason why... Like, it's strange, just this character has all the tools, I think, like, he needs to be a top tier, but he just does not have grab. He does not have a good throw game. Which, I think, throw is kind of like the glue that holds all these characters together. Rocco doesn't have that. Rocco is just eating 2 really good pieces of bread while everyone has a full-ass sandwich. Some sandwiches are better than others, but Rocco isn't eating a sandwich. Rocco is just eating 2 good-ass pieces of whole grain bread. Because this character has a really good punish. Like, they have really good tech loops. They have really good dare loops, and with the Mikey. They have a really good light and air, which is good at just comboing in general. And light up air is probably the best light up air in the entire game. Mickey Mouse slicing a ghost of bread slice. Yeah, that's a great word. Actually, no, that's Leonardo. Because Rocco does have the bread. Rocco has bread. Rocco has some real ass bread. Like, Rocco's bread is like really fucking good. But he doesn't have a sandwich. And that's what I think really holds Rocco back. But I cannot deny that, like, he has good shit. Like, his neutral is really good. His advantage state, if you're able to do it, is really good. And, like, his recovery is really good. His disadvantage is also solid because he's really hard to hit because he's so small. Like, he's a good character, but he just can't get much done. Like, because he just does not have grab. If you run to the center of the stage and hold block, he does not get much off of it. And I think that's a major weakness to have in this game. But yeah, that's my take. Next character I have is, where are you? Korra. Korra. I think Korra still slightly underrated a little bit, but I think more and more people are starting to realize that this character is actually really solid. One of the best punish games, period. Probably the best character when it comes to pressuring block. Just being able to do, like, real block strings is kind of disgusting. Obviously, some of them have holes that characters with, like, frame 4 moves can escape, but, like, not too many characters have a frame 4 move. They also have an amazing disadvantage state. Neutral B is dumb, down B is dumb, up B is really hard to challenge for a lot of characters outside of, like, Rocco, Hugh, and Toph. And I guess Helga if you're lucky. But yeah. The big thing, though, I think that holds Korra back is that she is stubby and slow. And that a lot of the top tiers can just kind of keep her out. But besides that, like, she gets in and she kills you. This character has, like, at least one good matchup against top tier, and that's Danny. I think she has a really good matchup against Danny. And she potentially has a good matchup against somebody else. And we'll get to it. So yeah, there you go. The next character. Where are they? Oh, here we go. SpongeBob. I think SpongeBob is also... I think people are starting to now realize Tuttle was right about SpongeBob. And honestly, I agree with this SpongeBob take. I just think he explained it in the worst fucking possible way. SpongeBob... The issue with SpongeBob is that top tiers just deal with Bubble way too well. Like, all of the top tiers in this game, and even characters like that are like upper high tier, Spinglebert Babberdick, what the so true, honestly. Like, the thing about SpongeBob is that, like, if you're good at Bubble, you probably just win the matchup. And, like, every character that I'm going to be putting in God and Gatekeeper, every character that's going to go in these two tiers are really good at dealing with Bubble. And even some characters, like, down here, like, Raptor is pretty good at dealing with Bubble. I think, PTM's really good at dealing with Bubble. Like, there's some shit. But, like, this character's advantage state is super good. This character has an okay disadvantage state. They have a really good weight for escaping out of combos, and the recovery is kind of hard to challenge for a lot of characters. But yeah, this character, there's not really much for me to say. It's basically when Bubble good, Sponge is good. When Bubble bad, Sponge is bad. It's like Sub-Zero, where like It's like Sub-Zero Ice Clone, where if Ice Clone good, Sub-Zero good. If Ice Clone bad, Sub-Zero bad. That's kind of how I see it. Next to grab is Lincoln. Now we're getting into the characters that I think like have one flaw that does hold them back from being top tier. These are the characters that I think like aren't top tier, but like these are characters that I think like can, if you're crazy enough to make an argument for it, you might be able to convince me. Lincoln is really good. One of the best neutrals in the entire game, just straight up. Really good juggle game. Really good, just some of the best edge guarding in the entire game. S tier is fucking ridiculous. They aren't great at killing, but that doesn't really matter when your S tier takes up like the entire stage. When S tier takes up the entire stage, honestly, and like you're just that good at edge guarding. The only thing that I think this character really sucks at is disadvantage. The disadvantage is really bad. And that's really about it. But that's really honestly about it. There's not really much for me to say. But yeah, this character just solid all around really, outside of that one thing. And honestly, you can say the same thing about CatDog too. This might seem weird, because usually most people put CatDog in top 10, and I complain about this character a lot. But CatDog is the definition of like very high risk and like high reward, but like it's a little bit weirder because they don't have to really work for their high. It's weird because like their disadvantage is one of the worst in the entire game. They don't have a good recovery, and they also like they can't get out of combos because they just extend their hurt box, and they're also not great when it comes to weight. It's on the lighter side. With that being said, though, really good fucking neutral because all their hitboxes are fucking massive, and they hitbox shift a ton, especially. They have a ton of frame 4 moves that just allow them to escape, allow them to just apply pressure, escape pressure, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, sometimes CatDog just dies, but sometimes CatDog just kills you. Uplight is probably the best normal in the entire game. Like, Uplight is an amazing normal. And Updog kills you ridiculously early. But, like, good neutral, crazy, probably, like, the 3rd best advantage state. Maybe, actually, no, probably just straight up the best advantage state, now that I think about it. But, like, their disadvantage is just that bad that it holds them back from being top tier. If this character's disadvantage was, like, mediocre even, they would be top tier. They really aren't. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna be right back. My mom is calling me, so I'll be right back. I'm back. Had to take care of one thing. We're good. Okay. Back to the stream. So I just finished talking about CatDog, I'm pretty sure. The next character I got is actually, oh, this is Jenny. Where would Jenny go? And Jenny's like here-ish. I'm put Jenny above Cat Dog. I feel like Jenny is just more well-rounded than Cat Dog, now that I think about it. She isn't great at killing, but I feel like Jenny's are starting to get better at killing with killing off of throws, which is really good. I think Missile is really underutilized. We even saw Madar use Missile super well. This character can be played very defensively. This character has a really good recovery, though it is exploitable. This character has a really good neutral, because they just have really good buttons and normals in general. But the issue, I guess, is just that, like, she can't consistently kill you. That's really what it comes down to, and that's why she's down here. If she had a consistent way to kill, easy top tier, but she can't, so... yeah. Not really much for me to say right there. Yeah. And then the final character. That's accurate, yeah. The final character I'm gonna throw up in here. April. April this high. I think April is a little bit slept on right now. I don't think a lot of people know what April can do, or forgot what April can do, but I also don't see it being a god tier because of that recovery. Now let's begin. Really good neutral. Strongs are really good. Probably the best set of air strongs in the entire game, outside of, like, maybe Danny. Esther is ridiculous. That move's incredible. She has really good damage output, really good normals now, too, because her aerials work a lot more. She did lose Squibble Scam, but that's not that big of a deal, especially since, like, she does have, Snare that still kills relatively early. Strong up air kills relatively early. She still has, like, camera kill. She still does, like, a ridiculous amount of % on up throw camera, which have been shown to be consistent enough that you can do through Ron and Bodidi. But yeah, the only thing I think that really holds her back is, one, her matchup spread against the top tiers aren't great. I think, most notably, some characters just kind of fuck her up a little bit. Most notably, I think Toph and Mikey are really bad matchups for her. And number two, I also just don't think, like, her recovery, like, if this character has to recover low, she loses. If this character recovers high, she's 100% safe, but if she has to recover low, she's dead. And that's really all there is to it. This character... Sorry, I was thirsty. But yeah, that's basically all there is to it. This character is just super decent, super strong in everything, but not the best disadvantage offstage. Not great offstage, at least. They can definitely do it, though. They're not the worst character, though. Far from it, but, like, they just... that one exploitable weakness, I think, really holds them back. Alrighty. Now it's time for my favorite part of the tier list, where I piss the most people off. Top tier. But first, we have Gatekeeper, which I don't know why I started to become a tradition. Garfield's 100% a Gatekeeper now. This character... holy shit, this character is a monster offline. Like, just being able to consistently react to whatever your opponent does with Dare is so fucked up. Light Dare, I've said this multiple times, and I'm so glad Hyper finally proved it. Light Dare is the best, like, Light Dare in the game. Garfield has the best Light Dare in the game, and it's not even fucking close. This character's Light Dare it just does everything for him. Light Nair is also incredible. It is, like, the fakest but most real and oppressive disjoint I've ever seen in my life. I honestly need to get back to playing him. It's been too long. Do what you want to do, Scooter. Do what you want to do. Like, this character is kind of fucked up. Like, maybe they do struggle offstage a lot. Their offstage game is really weak. And they aren't the greatest at killing. They do have kill confirms that do work, and they do have really good edge guarding. But, like, it's kind of tricky. However, this character just has all the tools they need to win. Like, this character has a fantastic neutral, really just good save buttons that are massive. Like, an insane rushdown game. Like, this character can just honestly play everything. Like, they're just an all-around fantastic character. The only issue I really see with them is that, like, they're not great off stage. They're pretty bad off stage. But that's it. Okay. Now it's time for the gods. As you can see down here, I think all 8 of these characters have made it into the top tier. I think all of these characters are absolutely just incredibly broken and kind of just rule over the game. Which one's the best though? Let's find out. Number 8, and it's gonna be shocking for me to do this, especially since this character has been performing super well lately, but I do think there is a huge asterisk by it. Nigel Thornberry. So Nigel probably has the best advantage game, maybe second best advantage game. This character is stupid. This character's entire kit just leads into itself, and he kills so early thanks to flick and strong up air. This character has really good aerials. Strong Nair is really good. Nair, light Nair is amazing. Frame 4, up air. What's over there? What's over there? What's over there? Like, this character is nuts. Their disadvantage is really good too. Outplay it, outplay it, outplay it, outplay it. Worm is really good. The recovery is really fucking good. And they're also fucking heavy, so it's really hard to kill them. While they can just kill you at, like, 70. So they're that fucking stupid. The only thing that I think really holds them back is that their neutral is weak. I think out of all the characters I'm going to be putting in this tier, they by far have the worst neutral. I think their neutral is even worse than characters like Garfield. It's just that, like, they are mobile enough, and they have enough cross-ups to make it work. But, like, this character has really bad ground options for when it comes to approaching. But, like, this character gets one hit and you die. But I do think it is possible for all of these characters in the... But everyone else in this tier has a super cracked advantage state and a good neutral to boot and a good disadvantage state. Like, all of these characters, like, Nigel's just lacking that one thing that I think can put him over the edge. So yeah, I'm gonna say Nigel is the 8th best character in the game. 7th is Danny. I know a lot of people are starting to say, like, Danny is top 1. I know C-Tem has told me that. I don't know what the hell people are tripping. I know Troco thinks Danny's, like, apparently doesn't lose a single matchup. But, I think they're tripping. I don't think Danny's a bad character. I definitely did underrate him a little bit. Uplight is disgusting. M-Man15CX, thank you for the follow. Hope you were enjoying the stream. Okay, but still, Danny's disgusting. Yeah. Like, Downlight is super good. Frame 6, -3 on block. Eye roll, aw. Did I pronounce your name wrong? I hope I didn't. Anyways. So, yeah, Danny is just really good. The one thing I think holds Danny back, though, why I can't put him any higher, he's very inconsistent, strangely enough. Like, you could just fall out of his combos sometimes. He, strangely enough, can struggle to kill because, like, he just does not combo his kill confirm as well for some fucking reason, especially if you're small. And he's also very light, and while his recovery is really strong, if you just have, like, a big move, like a big snare, you can sometimes just smack him. Like, this character could just die randomly early. Like, PTM, strange enough, has a really good matchup against Danny. It's very funny, but yeah. In fact, PTM has a surprisingly good matchup against both these characters, which is kind of funny. Next up, and number, I smacked Choco with Jenny's Snare, and it was very satisfying. Yeah. This character, very fast, though. Really good neutral. Solid advantage state, despite how inconsistent it is. And decent disadvantage, too. But, yeah, being late in this game sucks. And, like, being inconsistent really sucks. So, yeah, I can't put him any higher. Also, if you're getting hit by Jenny's Snare, that's just a skill issue, honestly. Next up is Aang. Aang is good. But at the same time, though, out of all these characters, he's surprisingly honest. That's just too bad. True. Like, let's begin. I think Aang has a really good neutral. They are the best character when it comes to reaction tech chasing. Just straight up. Their ground game, plus how much they fucking lean in on jab, plus their fucking, like, probably, like, the third best grab in the entire game, is super good. They have the second fastest run speed in the entire game, and by, like, a mile, both them and Toph are, like, by far the two fastest characters in the entire game. Incredible combo game, too. Light Nair is amazing. This character can struggle to kill, though, a little bit. They're not bad at it, but they kind of need to rely on a hard read if they want to take a stock, or just, like, S-dash you at ledge into, like, an S-dare. But, like, but yeah, they're not going to be killing you off the top as often, and they're not going to be killing you off the sides as often, because they definitely want to, like, S-dash, S-dare you, especially now that, like, strong up air isn't, like, Nigel F tier, you're right. But, yeah. So, but, yeah. There's not really much for me to say about Aang. Aang just all around is good. Good neutral, good advantage, good disadvantage. Just nothing crazy is about him. Worse than Leo? Exactly. That's why I put him below Leo, Pug. That's why I put him below Leo. But yeah. So, the next character I have, and this is going to definitely be a big hot take. Oh, actually, wait. Either one of these is going to be a hot take, because I'm going to go with my gut, and then I might change it later. Helga. Helga's weird. A lot of people say this character is top 1. I can kind of see where they're coming from. This character has an amazing advantage state. Literally every single, like, neutral button, they're like Nigel, but, like, with an actual neutral. Because this character just touches you and then you explode. Like, this character has just all this character's neutrals options just lead into her kit and just kill you. Like, she can just light Nair train you. She just like downlight you into a stock. She can slingshot you into a stock. Like, she just has, like, kill confirms that kill, like, at 40 up the wazoo. However, this character, while having a decent neutral, does not have the best neutral. I think these characters below her have a way better neutral than her. And on top of that, her disadvantage is not that great. I think she probably has the worst disadvantage out of all these characters. Her recovery is exploitable by a lot of characters, especially Toph. Especially characters like Toph, for example, and Oblina. And even Mikey to a certain extent because of S-dare. Counter, now that counter can be grabbed. If she whiffs a counter, she's basically dead. So, yeah. And I think like she just does not do like her neutral just isn't as great because she doesn't have like a good fast move. Her frame data is pretty average compared to like these two motherfuckers, and her range is pretty average compared to this motherfucker, and her advantage on block is pretty average compared to this motherfucker. You get me? Like, I feel like all those characters below her just kind of outclass her slightly. Plus, they all have a better disadvantage than her. So yeah. Speaking of Oblina's next. This is the hypothetical Doomsday character. This is what if people played this game seriously. This is like the worst thing that could happen to the game if people start making Oblina look good. And by that I just mean camping the shit out of your opponent. Down B is just simply put the. Okay, I was making sure to back up my mic. Down B is just simply put the best move in the entire game. That move is just ridiculous. It does everything. It does your disadvantage. It's your neutral. It's your disadvantage. It's your advantage. It does your taxes. It feeds you. It wakes you up in the morning to go to school, but it's also your school. Like, it does fucking everything. She also has Goop, which just controls the stage so well, especially when you land it. Especially if you're able to squeeze your opponent in between her and Goop. Like, a down B Oblina, like, you're blocking, Oblina is down Bing you, but this Goop also behind you is probably one of the most terrifying things I've ever experienced in this game. Shout out to Leviathan. She's honestly just good everywhere besides killing. She's not great at killing. She kind of has to rely on niche kill setups. But she also has a really good edge guard game. And she's really hard to hit. Another thing, too, is that I think the 3 characters above her, she just loses to. I don't think she wins those matchups. I think she basically beats or goes even with everyone else down here, but loses against these 3 characters because they all just have insane tools to deal with rollout. So yeah, I'm also gonna move Nigel back up. Sorry, Pug. It was funny. I hope you got the screenshot though. But yeah. Oh, did my music turn off? Yes, continue. I'll be all like Golden Sun music. There we go. Sorry guys, I did not realize that was no music. So now we're in the top 3. Mikey. Where's Mikey? There's Mikey. I'm stupid. Mikey is very, very good, but I do think he's very overrated. This is what I think a lot of people, like Sanji told me that this is what most people think is top 1. Michael Angle is... I can see Mikey being top 1, but I do see some weaknesses that he does have. For one, this character's like really only big weakness is that the recovery is exploitable, especially by characters like Helga and Toph, and I think Aang too. Yeah, and like they're not great at scrapping, but their neutral and their keep out game is so oppressive, and even once you get in, you still have to worry about grab. And if this character gets a grab, you're kind of just fucked. If this character gets an up B, you're kind of just fucked. Like, this character has such an amazing punish game. And they kind of just control space super well. But they aren't great at scrapping because, like, they don't have great frame data. And, like, just a heads up, in my personal opinion, Mikey's only losing matchup is Toph. And a big reason for that is because Toph is just really good at getting in, but Toph can also just camp the shit out of him. Their disadvantage is not awful because down B is a really oppressive move that's really hard to challenge for a lot of characters. And... my fault, I almost threw up right there. Jesus. And on top of that too, like... yeah. So true, Lillian. How's it going? But yeah, like Mikey is just that oppressive in the neutral in general. That he makes his way up here. And in his advantage state, although I don't think he's the best at the game, I think Nigel and CatDog have a way better advantage state. Mikey's a solid third. Mikey may not have the best kill power, but that doesn't really matter if your main combo just... You're doing great? Good. You're doing okay? That's good to hear. It's better than being bad. But yeah, like, it's better than, like, that doesn't really matter if you can just simply touch and dust somebody into your kill move. Speaking of touch or dusting people, this rodent, Sandy, is fucking disgusting. Best character at scrapping, straight up. Jab is ridiculous. It is a top 5 move. Lasso is incredible, especially if you're a character that does not have a projectile or a good one. So if you're Mikey, if you're Aang, if you're Nigel, you just kind of have to eat shit. This character has a really, probably the best disadvantage outside of Oblina, because down B is just a third jump, and Snare is really difficult to deal with. And her up B is super hard to challenge, because she could just has a gazillion mix-ups with it. She has a good neutral, she has a good disadvantage, she has an amazing advantage state where she just kills you super early. This character's only flaw is that she does have low range. And, like, it's not that big of an issue because of Lasso, but because of that, plus Lasso losing the projectiles, she only really loses one matchup, in my personal opinion, and that's Garfield, which is really funny. I think Garfield's like the hard Sandy counter pick, but even then, I wouldn't even say it's like a hard counter. I still think Sandy can definitely easily win it. Like, but yeah, I think Sandy just overall is more well-rounded than Mikey. So, yeah. And now, probably for my biggest hot take of all time. The biggest hot take of all time. No one's going to see this coming. I think Nigel beats Mikey like +1. I think it's even, personally. I could see it being +1 Nigel, but I think it's closer to even. Because I think Mikey is really good at just keeping Nigel out, but that's fair. Also, is there a bracket going on while I'm doing this? That's amazing. Even Andruvi thinks it's +1 for Nigel. Well, Andruvi's wrong. And plus Andruvi's bad. Got him. Also think Nigel can beat Sandy. He can, but like, I think Lasso is really annoying or hard to deal with. For him to deal with. Plus, like, if Sandy gets in close, it could be really annoying for for them too. Just don't get hit by it. You're right. Sandy is a good matchup for Nigel. Squibble is just good. I think so too. I think Squibble is good, but I also do think there's some truth behind like Nigel neutral just not being amazing against Sandy. Anyways, let me talk about Toph. I need to talk about my hot take now. Toph is top 1. I know that's crazy because a lot of people don't think Toph is top 1. I think a lot of people say she's in contention, but I don't think a lot of people state that she's top 1. But I look at this character. Yeah, I agree with that. I think Nigel has a lot of even matchups, but he just does not have, like, you know... Yeah, I think Aang Nigel is definitely even. I 100% agree with that. At the same time, though, like, I just think, like, Nigel's neutral is a significant drop down weaker from everyone else, while everyone else has, like, the neutral to keep up. If that makes sense? Like, that's my take. Best neutral... Yes, S-Dash and neutral is a good neutral tool. You're right. But yeah, I agree. His punish game is ridiculous. And like, if you're gonna view this from like, like, it really depends on how you view this. Like, honestly, you can make an argument for Strong Neshi from the other part of the stage. True. Honestly, you can make a really good argument for all of these characters being top 1 in some way. I've seen every single one of these characters be argued for top 1, besides Nigel. But even then, I can still see Nigel, because Nigel's punish game is just that fucking good. But, yeah. So honestly, like, it doesn't really matter to me who's top 1. But, in my personal opinion, it's Toph, because I look at Toph, and I just see, like, this character just does, like, she just has a tool for everything. Like, she probably has the best neutral in the entire game. She probably has, like, the second best disadvantage, maybe third best, because of Sandy. Like, third best disadvantage, I'll give her that. And it's super good. And, like, her advantage game may be not as strong as these characters, outside of, like, Oblina, I guess. It's still fucking insane. Like, all of these characters, I think, are not great at some part in the neutral. Like, Sandy's not really good if you're dealing with someone full stage. Mikey's not really good if you're dealing with scrapping. Toph is just kind of good everywhere. Like, full charge boulder is just broken. Forcing characters to jump and ruin, like, the flow and just controlling the pace that much is such... It's so fucking good. It is so good. And she is fast enough to capitalize on it so easily. She's the fastest character in the game, so she's the best at repositioning, and she's best at capitalizing on opponents' mistakes. She has an amazing reactive tech chase game. Her combo game does so much percent. She has one of the best edge guarding tools in the entire game. Up B is ridiculous, especially when it comes to reversals and edge guarding. Like, this character just has everything. But, like, I guess, like, she kind of can struggle to kill, but at the same time, though, Boulder is broken. I look at Toph and I'm just like, this character doesn't really have a losing matchup. She has a lot of evens. Like, I think she goes even against Sandy. She beats Mikey. She beats Oblina. Maybe even with Helga, though. Maybe it's winning for Toph. Even with Aang, beats Danny. Even with Nigel, beats Garfield. Like, I don't think she really has a losing matchup, which I can't really say for any of these characters down here, honestly. The only issue I can really see with her, too, is that, like, she's inconsistent, and I don't think she's as easy to play as people make her out to be. Because, like, you gotta be, like, for one, you have to play each and every matchup, like, so extremely differently. Because, like, each and every character is just weak at a certain range. You kind of have to play like that. Like, there are matches where playing like me, and which is a little bit more aggressive and under platform, I think is better. And there's matchups where you want to play like Sanji, where you just want to go up and just camp super hard. Like that. Like, she has a tool for everything, but, like, you gotta understand when to use those tools. Because she is light, and she does die early. But, like, second best scrapper in the entire game. Maybe just straight up, like, one of the... I'll just say... I don't know if she's the best, but, like, one of the best characters mid-range. One of the best characters full stage, because she forces you to approach with Boulder, and she forces you to jump, too, with it. Like, this character just has every tool in the book. It's just that, like, you gotta know when to use those tools, and I think that's the hard part. But I think, like, as time goes on, and the better me and Sanji and maybe some other people that are interested to pick up Toph get, I think, like, Toph is gonna be definitely, like, be seen as, like, probably the best character in the game. Alright, now I'm gonna look at this and see what I like and what I dislike about it. I don't know. What are y'all thoughts on it? pretty accurate, not gonna lie. Thank you. See, I told you, I'm never wrong. Can I just say, I say this a lot, but I think it needs to be said again. Motherfuckers doubted me when I said Leo was the worst character this patch. Y'all were like, no, it's Patrick because his grab don't work. And I was like, that doesn't matter if you have Snare. Leo can't do shit. And now y'all acting like I didn't say that before. Come on. That was mainly aimed at Black Armor. But yeah, there's not really much for me to say. It's like, I think I nailed it. Honestly, now that I look at it. Maybe the only thing I can see switching is Oblina Helga. I think Nigel beats Toph. I think it's even, personally. I think Toph is able to out-neutral Nigel. I can see Nigel being better than Danny. I agree with that. Yeah, you know what? No, you're right. You're right. I can see that. I think Danny is a little bit too inconsistent. You're right. I think Nigel Toph is even. I think Toph definitely wins neutral, but Nigel also fucks her up, and like they both kind of just fuck each other up. Like I think Toph is one of the best characters at exploding him off stage, but it's not still great. And I also do think like Nigel just kind of kills Toph. Mikey beats Sandy. Toph is a toss-up. Toph beats Mikey. I'm confident in it. You play against Sanji, and Sanji's bad at the matchup. Oh yeah, I do think Mikey beats Sandy. Yeah, I agree with that. What's my dog barking at? Also, how's it going, Andrew? Yeah, I like this. I see it more as even. I'm sorry. I just think Mikey is really good at just keeping Nigel out. Once he gets in it, I can see it being a toss-up though. Like that's like one of the few matches where I can see Nigel getting in and doing well. Like I do think it's maybe slight Nigel favored, but I do think Mikey has enough tools to keep Nigel out. Yeah, I mean like at the same time though, can't you? You can also just fucking dare loop him because he's big. To a Mikey Nair. No one really dies to a Mikey Nair. He's too heavy. Maybe. Okay. I don't think it changes my placement of him too much though, because like my issue with Nigel is less that like I agree probably just straight up has the best punish game out of the entire cast. I just think his neutral is just so much far weaker than everyone else's. Like that's my issue. That's fair. I can see it. I'm gonna still say it's even. But that's a fair take to have. Anyways, I'm gonna post this on Twitter now and just see what happens. Nigel's a safe unblock noob and neutral, but it sends not really. Like, are you talking about Esther? Because if so, you just reset neutral, and then he kind of has to try again. Nair? It's not that safe. And you're also Mikey. You can just, like, space it well. Like, I feel like if you're spacing well with Mikey, Nigel shouldn't be allowed to get in. And also, yellow block exists. Like, if you're talking about like that. No move in the game is truly safe if you think about it. Anyways, I'm posting this to Twitter. I'm right. I agree. Nigel Light Nair is amazing. Frame 4 combos into strong up air DIN, which is that move's it's really good. But good in neutral, I can kind of see it, but I don't think it's incredible at it. A lot of the shit he does is unsafe. Like outside of like Light Nair, that's it. I don't think it's that good. I don't think it's bad, but I also don't think it's as good as the other characters in the tier. That makes sense. Like I look at these characters, like I look at Toph and Mike. I look at Toph and Sandy, who I just think are way better at scrapping and way better at certain ranges. I look at Aang too, I think is able to reposition a lot faster. I look at Danny, who has a amazing fucking down tilt. Like that. Like, that's what I see. For Nigel, I see, like, one of his best pro drops as being dash attack, because every Nigel does that. And, like, a lot of moves just being very minus on hit. I mean, bad not on hit, on block. It's not a bad neutral, I just don't think it's as good as the other characters in this tier. Anyways, I'm gonna promote my... Okay. There we go. Alrighty, I'm gonna take a little break now. Where the fuck am I going? I'm gonna take a little break now and maybe get things set up for Jackbox or some shit. But yeah. Thank you all for coming here to check out the tier list. It's been a while since I made one of these, I think. Like a real one where I actually put thought into it. And I think I did a good job. Okay, I'm gonna be right back now. I'm gonna take a little break. And then I'll set up Jackbox maybe. I'll maybe do a ping in the Discord to see who's up for Jackbox. Alright, see ya.